guess, turn their mics on. 7 PM, we'll call the meeting to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Let's see, do we have an alternate to seat? Are you the only? I'm sorry?
So we can see Tad for Spence.
And are you the only alternate?
Tad is here and Michael.
Mike. Do you know who was seated as an alternate the last meeting? Try to alternate.
I think Tad.
Was it Tad the last? So Michael, I'll seat you for Bill Spencer. And that's the only one I can seat, right?
Yes, because
Okay.
Jen should be here shortly.
All right, so we have, let's see, public participation. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that would like to bring forward an item to the commission that isn't already on our agenda for tonight? Okay, there is none. So we have three new business applications this evening. The last one, it says accepting and discussion, but Blake Leonard from the Public Works Department was unable to get here this evening. So we're just accepting those three new applications, and we'll be scheduling site visits for them. We don't need to take a vote on that, right?
No.
Okay. So there is no old business. So do you want to give us, I don't think we're gonna do the aquifer regulations. Do you wanna give us, your report on the cease and correct violation?
Yeah, also, just to go back to 261 Lake Mere Drive,
Okay.
the owner is here. You know,
Okay.
if you guys want to ask him questions on it, since he's here tonight.
Would you like to come forward? You would like to make a statement or anything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you guys filled you in, but just doing some simple landscaping work. I just wanted to go.
Just your name for the
Oh,
record.
sorry. Nick Custaferi, and just doing some simple landscaping work back there, but I'm in the review area, so I just want to go through the proper channels.
Okay.
I'm adding millings to the existing approved path down there. And if you look on the map I submitted where my septic system is, it's just weeds. I want to do hydro seed, tall fescue. It's better for erosion, kind of like sinks into the dirt a little bit more, and it looks a lot nicer.
Okay.
And that's about it. Oh, and a guardrail on the top part of the path too. Just 5 posts in the ground, just a decorative wood guardrail. And Southbury Yard Restorations is doing the work.
Okay, excellent. That's about all we can do this evening.
That's all I need.
We'll schedule a site visit with you, and
Yeah.
then,
Okay.
if you would like to come to the next meeting,
Oh, absolutely.
Great.
Site visit, you guys will let me know when?
yes, the office will call and coordinate with you.
Perfect. Okay.
Do you have anything that you would like to bring?
That's 308
That's,
Jeremy
Okay,
Swamp.
so-
Yeah,
okay, why don't you go ahead now?
okay. So in the past month, I have had, just before we get to Jeremy Swamp, I've had 3 minimal activities I approved.
Okay,
2 were for tree removal and 1 was for a shed in the upland review area. For the shed, I did a site visit. The area was clear. There was no like trees that needed to be cut. It was relatively flat. So Jordan and I discussed and decided that it's a minimal activity. He's not digging or anything, putting in post, just putting down a shed with like maybe some concrete slabs at the bottom to make it level. So that was that one. And then that was for 20 Settlers Hill Road. And the other 2 were tree removals. One was at 146 Willow Creek Estates Drive. This is the picture that I put on the table for you guys. Williams Spence was involved in this as far as giving approval since it was within the wetlands according to the GIS. But given that it was such a small area, we didn't think that it would be a significant impact on removing the tree. If you flip over to the other side of the page, there's the picture of the tree. It was dead and snapped over, so just the general area didn't really look like a wetland. So that was a minimal activity approved through us. And then 45 Fieldstone Way, they recently installed solar panels. During the as-built plan review of the solar panels, the owner brought up wanting to take down 2 trees within the upland review area. Both looked to be in poor condition, and he was worried about them falling over on the ground-mounted solar panels. So we discussed with him on that removal and, ensured that it would be done by hand, no heavy equipment, and stumps will be stayed or kept in place. So that was what we approved for that as well.
Okay.
And then 308 Jeremy Swamp Road. It was brought to my attention that there was some work being done within that wetlands area. Looks like when I did a drive-by, that vegetation was removed, like the cabbage patches, or I think that's what they're called, sorry. Yes, skunk cabbage. Were taken, and I saw piles of tree debris along that area. And I did speak with Joe, who is here today, earlier today, and he kind of explained why the work started. So I don't know if he wants to come up and discuss that with us.
Joseph Achenbach. I'm actually ex-husband to Cassandra Achenbach, who owns the property at 308. So basically, first off, I want to apologize because I didn't realize there was a setback until today when Jada told me about the 50-foot setback on the unnamed stream, I guess is what it is. So I want to apologize for not knowing that and not getting a permit on it.
All right.
Going forward, there's, minimal cleanup that we'd like to finish as far as like logs that are from trees in the past that have fallen and kind of littered the entire embankment. Plus like the little bit of brush that I had left to obviously pick up. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to go through whatever repair and maintenance permit procedure, whatever we need for that, so that we can hopefully do some of that cleanup. I also wanted to know with anything in the culvert as far as degradation, who is typically responsible to go in and remediate that?
Culvert underneath your road or your
So
driveway,
basically, there's a natural stream along the side of the road, and it goes through the neighbor's driveway, it goes through our driveway, through the next driveway, through a few of them in a row. So basically, from the looks of things, the town has, since they redid the road, put their piping into that natural stream. So the volume of water that now comes through is substantially heavier. So approximately like 8 weeks ago, her direct neighbor's driveway got completely washed down that culvert. Half of which is at the beginning of her culvert now, and the other half is on the other side of her culvert. Where on the other side, you can notice the banks have recessed just in the last few weeks from the overload volume of water directly from the town drainage. At the end of the pipe, there's no riprap, there's no bracing, there's nothing to hold it. So now it's all collected there and is washed out. Subsequent to that, about 2 weeks after that, middle of the night, she had a tree from the wetlands fall across her wires, ripped the wires out, burnt out all her surge protectors, the furnace, fire department was there, charter hardwood floors, all direct result of this, culvert wetlands issue. So luckily she was home and the house didn't burn down, but if she wasn't home, it would have burnt. So that's what initially sparked, I'll say, the need to clean it up. Because when the fire department came and power company, they were all like, if you don't clean this up, it's gonna be an issue. And part of the issue was down trees that were stopping the water naturally draining, plus the water from the road, just kind of a nightmare. So being that, like dominoes in a row, neighbor's driveway is washed out, she's dropping trees. You look at the half a dozen trees that are in that stream now, currently down in there. It just changes the trajectory, the topography, and next is the bridge is gonna get plugged and it's gonna just back up.
We did this
So,
down the road from them.
I have a question.
Yeah,
At the- at
I'm a
the
little
end
bit
of
at
the
a loss
road,
exactly where,
Jeremy Swamp towards the high numbers, the wholesale end. Before, 1,000 feet before the end, there's beaver dams. Well,
Okay.
between 500 and 1,000 feet, there's beaver dams and it's flooding basically that whole side of the road.
yeah.
I'm assuming, I'm not, I can't be sure if that is putting more water your way.
The thing is it's obvious when you see it, it's coming from the catch basins, you know, it's added, again, it's a natural stream. So if you go look at it now, it's trickling, kind of like how it should be. When it rains, you used to get like half full.
Well, I live on the
Now,
road.
when it rains, like my ex-wife has footage, it's like white water, it comes up over the embankment, and to the point where I was like cleaning up to try to like mediate that part. But going forward at the neighbors where the trees are down and all that dirt has been displaced, that's where the next major issue is gonna come. So, you know, I'm not trying to like scare tactic, but literally like 8 weeks ago, the driveway was washed out, you know, then her trees are dry. It's something to be looked into, you know, in addition to like, well, I wanted to clean up more, because there's still some logs, like if you go over, you see it, you know. And initially, we were like, what happened? Like a tornado came through? And then, like, we're looking at it, we're like, no, it's like a wave of waters that's coming through here. So that's basically where we're at. But had I had known it was within a wetlands, I would have, you know, pulled a permit for it. Because what we did was clean up. It wasn't any, you know, we didn't change anything. We just cleaned all the crap, basically, that was there. Yeah.
okay, so, generally speaking, the town public works department only works, within the road right of way. If you think there are maintenance issues that they need to address, they have a online system that you can
Yeah.
go into
Yeah,
and
that's what I
file a
figure.
request for them to come look at whatever you think the issue is.
Yeah.
And they're usually pretty responsive to that stuff. Now, whether that solves all of the other underlying
yeah.
issues is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Water is a powerful force and it goes
Yeah.
where it wants to go.
Yeah, the biggest
So-
thing is she's just worried that like, what happens next when it's her driveway? Cause like the electrical thing cost her like quite a bit of money, like out of pocket money. So like, she wasn't too happy about that. And then like, looking at the neighbors, she's like, it's gonna cost me like, I don't have this money, basically.
So if we could get back to the cease and correct thing. So those activities you're saying were the result of storm damage, essentially?
Yeah.
What you did
Oh,
was you
yeah.
were clearing up after storm damage?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You could see, I mean, the wood that I have there, like split up, is all like dead, rotten, just,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so what's the next step, Jada? Do we need to have members go out to look at this, or do you wanna monitor the activities over there on this, to have them finish? Is there more work that you still need to do?
Pretty much all I was gonna do is clean up the little pile of brush, which is like minimal, and then just the logs that are like noticeable on the surface.
Okay.
Yeah,
As far
I-
as
You
like,
wanna work with this person to
Yeah,
to
we
get to
can,
the
we
end
can
of
work
this?
together, and maybe go about perhaps getting an application in just to have one that, and
That was
since
kinda
work,
my next question,
work is
whether you
gonna
felt there was
continue,
enough going on there to have them come in?
and
or-
just us going out there to ensure that what was done looks okay and not any, you know, we don't need to do anything further to
Well, let me-
mitigate.
Let me ask this, if this applicant had come in, prior to doing the work, is it something that you might have done under a minimal activity? Or do you think the activities
I think,
were significant?
given
enough?
that it was near a stream, would have felt more comfortable having
Okay.
it come before you guys.
All right. So you'd like to have them submit an application for maintenance and restoration,
Yes.
essentially?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
looking at.
All right, so
That's fine,
you two are gonna
absolutely.
work
Yeah.
together and resolve this.
Absolutely.
We're gonna
And-
try to
And then
stay
as
out
far
of it.
as like the drainage part, I'll get a hold of Public Works.
That's the
and-
best I can tell you, is if you think,
Cause what's happening is that the wetlands, the lowlands are getting lower, cause it's going down the stream, so.
you know, they did a fairly, extensive road rehab on that, how many years ago? 5?
Yeah, 4 or 5
Maybe
years
something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if they need to go back and touch up a few things.
Yeah,
That's pretty common.
yeah.
So it's coming off the storm drains and eroding away,
It's,
making it worse.
if you stand there, you literally see it coming, like you looking at the pipe. And then when it rains, when I say like white water, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, way more than it was ever
Culverts,
meant
the
to.
driveway culverts are the property owners'
They are, yes.
thing,
Yeah.
so you gotta,
Yeah.
And again, being that the neighbors was gone
Yeah.
2 months ago, like woke up to that, like, oh, your neighbor has got no driveway.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, and if they're many decades old, you know,
Some
over,
are.
as things have developed, the storm drainage systems, you know,
Doesn't take much.
doesn't handle it, that stuff anymore. If you
Yeah.
got a 15-inch pipe under
Yeah.
the driveway,
Yep.
that's probably just not gonna cut it these days.
yeah, I know,
So,
I know.
Yeah, so I would say, maybe stop by at the land use department.
Yep.
Whenever
Business
you get a
hours,
chance.
Fill out the app. Yep.
And then we'll go through the application process and,
Right.
um,
Absolutely.
have the commissioners go out there and
That'd be
work
perfect.
together.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah,
be the best way.
yeah.
okay,
All right,
thank
All
you
set.
for your
Yep,
thank you.
time.
thank you.
It-
You too.
Parking lot?
Yeah. Back part of that.
Back
Yeah,
parking?
that way. Back parking lot,
Okay, that
lower
way.
parking lot is that way. All right, anything else you'd like to,
No, that was it
that was pretty
on my
much it?
reports, yeah.
Okay. Bills and receipts,
We have $280 in receipts.
okay. We have your correspondence listed here. Any corrections to the minutes of April 9th? Minutes correction on
The-
1734 to be noted.
Yes, so just to bring that up, the previous minutes, I had a mistake that Pat Moynihan from the Land Trust had pointed out, and I made that correction, and I refiled it, and I
Okay.
sent that corrected version to you in the email. So
Okay.
it's basically noting that the correction was made.
All right. That kind of brings us to the end. Any other comments, questions?
Actually, just one other thing.
Sure.
Would you make a motion to officially accept all of these 3 applications, just so that I have that on record?
That, I'll make a motion to accept applications 1735, 1736, and 1737, and schedule site visits.
I'll second it.
Dan seconds, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Anything else, Sonia?
No, that'd be all.
Okay,
I've got one question.
Sure.
I got an email, and I thought we were gonna discuss this tonight, talking about the River Road and Purchase Brook.
right. Well, that's part of application 1737. I got a long, voicemail from Blake Leonard today, and he had some family commitment that he couldn't get here this evening. Basically, the story, as I understand it, is they would like to, they have submitted a plan, correct?
Yes.
They've submitted a plan to do an interim, some interim improvements to that section of the road that is now closed. It's not the big fix that the road needs, but they'd like to try to get at least one lane, I believe, functional. Because when they do the bridge replacement at the other end of, up there,
Purchase Brook.
Purchase Brook Road. They still would need to shut down both lanes for a period of time, evidently. This is what I understand.
That's the part that I was questioning, because we went out there, I was out there 3 times,
Yeah,
and they were very clear in the fact that they were gonna move this,
yes, they were.
and it was gonna allow one lane to stay open until such time as either they finished that project or the River Road project.
Yes, they were.
And now that, what I was reading last night was, it was talking about, for a day or two, it might be down to where there's, no lanes available for either River Road or Purchase Brook.
That's correct. And I have no more information than you do on it, I'm afraid. So we're gonna have to wait until we have their representative here to ask them why they changed what they wanted to do. And when we sat there and talked about it, I thought that that was gonna be a rather cumbersome way to go about it, because they had to put additional fill in order to make that happen, and I guess they're of the opinion that this is a better way to go about it.
So they're gonna wait another month for this?
They're gonna wait another month for it, I guess.
Okay.
They're still waiting on permits from First Light
First light. Yeah.
and,
Army Corps.
is it
Army-
FERC?
Army Corps.
Yeah,
They're
FERC and
still waiting
Army
on some
Corps of
other
Engineers.
permits that they expect to come in the next few
Contractor
weeks.
and
I think.
on-site engineer, they're still trying to secure all that information.
So they're still working through the process.
Okay.
So for now, we'll accept it, we'll schedule a site visit out there. There was some talk about maybe having a special meeting to have this discussion. But in the voicemail that he left me, he just said that he would be at the June 11th meeting, so that's, for now, that's what we're going with.
Well, the special meeting would be if
It
we
will-
have to decide on it right away.
If they need to
Yeah.
do it earlier,
Okay.
so that's the story as I know it right now. I had a couple of conversations with Jordan today, and and I missed a call from Blake, but like I said, he did leave me that message, so that's all I can really, that's all the info I have for you, really. So I don't know, I was at at least one of those meetings as well where they were talking about moving this over here so they could use this lane and then move that one, you know, so, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on that. Anything else? Okay, I guess we'll adjourn, 7:25.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second?
I'll second.
All right,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks, everybody. Well,